I'm Muffs, and welcome to the Muffs ART-CHIVE, where I share my artistic projects and thoughts on everything and anything that I like. Without further ado, here is a story time of something that I've been wanting to talk about for ages. Actually, it's for like a month. As of the recording of this video. For those who have no clue, I'm from Portugal, a tiny country in Europe. Anime, manga, and East Asian culture has been growing in popularity over the last few years, and I, as an artist, decided to participate on a manga illustrating contest for an anime event that I won't expose, okay? But anyway, I feel like not the event itself, but this contest was some sort of scam. First things first, the theme of this year's contest was mecha, which scared the shit out of me, honestly, because I think I've never drawn anything similar to mecha franchises in the last few years, but I did not let my fears overcome me and I decided to have a lighthearted approach to this theme. So instead of doing an action-based short story, I wrote a story that was more of an introduction to our main characters, to those who would wear the mecha suits. I know that the decision of doing a lighthearted story already put me at a disadvantage, but I wasn't in this contest just to win. I wanted to gain experience and receive feedback, but oh well, that didn't turn out as I expected. The rules were that number one, it was mandatory to draw 4 pages, to use 4 pages, not anything below or above that we could only use black and white, and all the shades and tons of grey in between, and that the format of the manga had to be an A4, so 21 by 29.7 centimeters. They did not specify in the rules if we could use digital art, but my manga was digital. I mean, I sketched it on paper and then I did the final result as digital art. So before I even started sketching, I emailed the organizers of the event and the contest, and up until the recording of this video, I did not receive a response from them. Not even now that the winners were supposed to be announced or contacted. But I'll get into more details later on. My short story talks about 2 characters, Rin and Mochi. And I started gathering a bunch of references on Millinode to get a clear vision of what these 2 characters will look like and what I could do in the span of 4 pages. Rin is intelligent, a bit shy but assertive in what she does and the way she speaks. And her cat, Mochi, is a Sphinx cat, inspired by my Sphinx cat Nala, that is able to talk, but only Rin is able to understand what Mochi says. The 2 of them have been inseparable and they decided to create a mecha suit, but why? Why is that? Well, since I couldn't go for a heavy and detailed story, I had to basically cut a lot of interesting and nuanced things that could show up in these 4 pages. So you have to make a short story that fits, that doesn't necessarily become confusing or too weak in 4 pages. So basically there is some sort of deep sea aquatic creature species that has developed itself similarly to humans and is here to extinguish humans for the damage and the harm they've done to the environment of planet Earth. I know that this is kind of like a cliche plot. I feel like this kinds of plots have been done before, but it's what I came up with the short amount of time we had for the contest. Throughout the 4 pages, I just wanted to show Rin and Mochi's bond, and I wanted to talk about how they built a mecha together that both use at the same time to save humanity from this evil deep-sea aquatic species. I don't have a name for them. And by the way, before any of you point out in the comments or something like that, yes, Rin was inspired by Jurin of XG, a Japanese girl group that I absolutely love and adore. I would also like to apologize to all of you, or at least a good chunk of you who are watching this and don't know Portuguese, so you can't actually read the manga, but I hope my explanation of the story was good enough. What it says, to sum it all up, is just that Rin and Mochi are friends for life and their bond is unbreakable. And that they're both huge fans of anime and series of mecha, so mecha franchises. And they're both like geniuses. They're both very intelligent and very skilled in engineering, robotics, and so on. So they built a mecha suit to protect the human race. And even though they were criticized, mocked, and sometimes even outcasted, they never stopped believing that they could do good, that they could actually work together for the safety of the human society and never give up from what motivated them to do all of this in the first place. I'm pretty proud of the final result. I basically don't really have any kind of action on this short manga, and I feel like 4 pages is not enough to make a super developed and interesting story, but I put myself to the test with this project, and this is how it all turned out. For the contest, it was also mandatory to deliver a copy of your work to the organizers by mail. So you had to mail a physical copy of your work to them, right? And since I did digital art for the 4 pages, I spent money on printing them on a high quality paper. Because, come on, I didn't want them to have a poor printed version of my digital art, you get what I mean? And I shipped it to them. And then, just to make sure that I knew that my work was gonna be shipped to them, I decided to send it as registered mail. So, you pay an extra fee that provides, I guess, like proof that you actually delivered something to that person. For obvious reasons, my personal information will be blurred, but just so that you could see, this is literally the receipt that proves that I sent it to them, okay? And now, 1 month later, I can tell you that I never received a response to the email I first sent them with my doubts and questions regarding whether I could do digital art or not, and I never received a response from them, even though I know and that I'm sure that I sent my work to them, I shipped it to them. And they said that they would announce the winners a few days ago, and they didn't. And they also said that every participant's work would be exhibited during the event, the day of the event. And the event still hasn't happened, so I don't know if that will actually come true. And since I never received a response from them, I ended up not buying tickets to the event because I was like, oh, wait, what if this is a scam and the event is not happening? But they're posting regularly about the event. I'm still not going, by the way, because it's not in my city, so it would be an extra cost that I personally don't want to have after all of this. And yeah, I feel like anyone that is watching this video can understand why I feel like this contest was a scam. The event is happening, guys, and it's almost sold out in terms of ticketing, if I'm not mistaken. At least it's what they're posting. But in terms of the contests, the manga contests, they had no transparency and no communication to me and other participants. I don't know anyone else who participated on the manga illustrating contest, so this makes me even more confused. Because what if I was the only person participating? I highly doubt it, but if I was... I mean, let's theorize. If I was the only person who participated, would they just not tell me anything and keep my work? You get what I'm scared? Why I'm doing this video? I want to showcase this short story out there because I really, really loved Rin and Mochi and this short story I wrote, even though I know it's not perfect and even though I know that it's a lighthearted and not so strong and visually compelling manga. But I still care for my work. I gained a lot of experience in drawing and illustrating these 4 pages in such a short amount of time. And maybe I'll try to develop their story further to do something greater with Rin and Mochi, but that's something that I'll have to decide later on. I really hope that you can understand why I'm so skeptical about everything that happened with this contest. And I don't know how things will turn out because, again, as of the recording of this video, the event still hasn't happened, but I'm so curious to see what happened with my work and the possibility of them just keeping my work and some other people's work out of nowhere. And I don't know, that just scares me, because what if they use my work without my permission? And anyway, I'll try to think of only positive things, that they're not doing anything malicious behind the scenes. And to finish this video, I would like to, first of all, thank you for watching until the end and ask for your feedback. Do you want to see me do more of these contests and challenges, I guess? And do you want to see Rin and Mochi again in the future? Tell me all of that in the comments, and thank you so much once again for watching. I'll see you in my next video.